Success is not what you do, necessarily. Success, we think, is not based so much on what you do, but why you do what you do. And so if you think about, has anyone, by the way, seen, I think we talked about this, Simon Sinek's video? Anyone seen that? If you haven't, you might want to write that down. It's a cool, I think it's about like 17 minutes. I think Rob and I talked about it. Simon Sinek, he's this guy, he did a TED talk, it was really cool, on why always trumps what and how. So why you do what you do is 10 times more powerful. I'll give you a quick example. We have a client who always likes to share the story. I think I've heard it 1,000 times. He's the CEO of a very successful company, and he said he one day went in to buy a new laptop, and he went to I think it was HP, a kid selling HP, because they're all kids. A kid was selling HP and a kid was selling Mac. He goes in to buy the HP and he says, why should I buy this laptop? What do you think the kid said from the HP side? It's the best, it's got this, but he went into the speeds and feeds, right? It's got the fastest processor, it's got the brightest screen, it's the lightest, it's the this, it's the that. So what we call feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit, right? He went to the Apple store, these are his words, okay? And he asks the same question, why should I buy this laptop? And the kid almost self-destructs in front of him. He's like, there's this pimply kid, and he's like ready to explode, and he goes, 'cause it's cool! That was it. Like he was an idiot not to buy one. And so someone here tell us why you think he keeps telling that story to his sales team.
It's funny.
Well, number one, it's funny. What else? Yes?
To relate to helping solve the problem or tell them how it can help them. It's cool doesn't say anything about how it's going to be a great experience for him.
Yeah, well actually I'll tell you which one. Okay, so here's the punchline.
Emotional. I think
Which one did he buy?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was cool.
It's cool! Right? Because it's cool!
And he becomes cool by buying one too. So he can.
But I agree, right? You need to back it up. I think after he exploded with it's cool, he started to say, well, okay, can you give me some details about the thing besides that it's cool? But the point is it was an emotional purchase. And so I think sometimes we tend to forget that. I know I do sometimes. I tend to go right into the kind of feeds and speeds and forget the emotional side. And so that Simon Sinek is a good thing. So we call that philosophy. So we think selling has two parts. There's the kind of philosophical part, and it's very, very hard to identify. It's what we call the emotional side. I'll give you another example. We work a lot with sales managers and leaders, and when we come across newly minted sales managers and leaders, they tend to spend a little less time on philosophy and they go to the other side, which is the mechanics. So we think selling, leading, managing is a combination of two things: philosophy, mechanics. The philosophy is the why, the mechanics is the how. And so what we see with a lot of new sales managers, and there may be some in this room, and I'm not intending to insult anybody, but I'm just kind of giving you a characterization, is that a lot of managers go to the mechanics. Let me explain what that is. It's kind of like the checklist of management. Like when you come into the office at 9 o'clock or 9:30, we want you to do this, then we want you to do this, then we script you to do this. You have to have so many sales calls, you have to have so many phone calls, do. We call that the mechanics side. And sales managers that we come across a lot of the time get very frustrated. Why do they get very frustrated? Because they've spent all this time telling their people what to do. And we call that checklist management. And the problem with that is you've missed the other arm. You've missed the entire other side of management. And we usually get the deer in the headlights at that point, which is exactly what we're looking for. We want the deer in the headlights. Why? Because that person's now ready to receive some information. They're in discovery mode. And so we say, what's the other arm? The other arm, the other side is philosophy. And we do recommend very strongly that as a manager, you focus a lot on the philosophy as well as on the doing. So getting out of bed and doing a whole bunch of stuff isn't necessarily as motivating as getting out of bed on a Monday morning and doing a lot of stuff on behalf of some reason that gets you out of bed in the first place. Does any of this make sense, what we're talking about? So selling, I think, is a little bit the same.